Welcome everybody back to another BOLDcast reaction. I'm Carson.
I'm Lindsay.
And this is Apothecary Diaries, Season 1, Episode 19. You excited?
Mm-hmm. Things are heating up.
Let's check it out. Leave a like and subscribe. Let's go. Uncuts on Patreon. See the rest of Season 1, most likely, I would imagine. Oh.
What? Was something different?
No, just there's this. It's MAOMAO's mom, and then the coming back from the casket. Are we about to get really fantasy with it? Because what the fuck? Oh, and this is
his,
the
like, ritual
that he's
thing
preparing
or
for.
whatever,
I wonder what it is. Are those the morning glories?
I don't think so, because morning glory is a vine, but a vine, but the flowers are similar to that. This part of the song is so good.
So good.
午後に中止が行われますので。ああ。何をお考えかは大体想像がつきますが、仕事のこともお忘れなく。分かっている。
A lot on his mind. What if he's not a eunuch, but he's about to become a eunuch?
That would be kind of crazy.
倉庫でぼやがあったら。同じ日に別の倉庫で盗みがあったみたいなんだ。
I'm like off the screen.
あの時の騒ぎに乗じたとしか考えられない。
泥棒ですか。何が盗まれたんです？
Seeds?
Suspicious.
財布がなくなったんち。
そんなずさな管理だったんですか？
いや、俺もわかんねえんだよ。
That's what they were talking. That's what Lock-On was talking about too.
今の管理者は基本は把握しているのでしょう？
それがちょっと前に食中毒になっちまったらしくて。
Suspicious.
食中毒？
好物の海藻に当たったまま意識が戻んなくて。
That guy.
仕事に復帰できねえ状態。
どこかで聞いた話。
Seeming pretty familiar.
ぼやと同時に起きた窃盗。倉庫の管理者は同じ時期に食中毒で不在。偶然にしては不可解だ。
Okay, maybe Lock-On is some creepy motherfuckers. He had his hands in both those things, it seems like. That's the guy that died of poisoning, yeah.
Because he died.
Wait a minute, wasn't there Hang on, wait. There was a guy, do you want to go back and look or we'll just spoil it? Because there's a guy who put the salt in and it like zoomed in on his eyes and he went like looking down like this. And then there was the guy when Lock-On was like kneeling down, I think in the plaza next to the storehouses, and there was like a younger guy with him, you remember?
I don't remember that.
And he was like talking to Lock-On about like, what do you want to do? Blah, 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 blah.
Oh, yeah. Actually, yeah, I remember that now.
And he was like his subordinate of some kind. Maybe I now that we're putting all these things together, it's all fucking leading back to Lock-On. I'd imagine the guy who probably put the salt in was
maybe the same guy.
The younger dude who was with Lock-On, perhaps. But just in a disguise. Because I think the guy that they zoomed in on when the salt got placed in the thing was wearing the same like military uniform that like with the hat and the whole getup that they normally wear. That, like that Boston, or not Boston, whatever this guy's name is, Lihaku sings wearing right now. But these things are all coming back together.
Yeah. Well, they seemed coincidental on their own.
It's ivory pipe. Who's the owner?
I wonder who it could be. A sketchy guy with a monocle, perhaps? Oh.
That looks like her.
Oh, so that he would go and smoke in one of these warehouses because he was a warehouse guard.
ぼやを起こして警備が薄くなった隙に
To steal what?
初めからそれを狙って彼女が倉庫版にキセルを渡したとしたら、この彼女って。
ああ、一応詳しく聞いたんだが、襟巻きをして顔が隠れている。
もしかするとあらかじめ顔を隠していたのかもしれませんね。
女にしては上背があって、なんか。
I mean, that's all the fucking.
Yeah.
That's all you
There's
need.
only one person around here who fits that description.
I know it's not you given your height.
She's gonna say no.
Keep it to yourself for now, I think.
That she really took that lesson to heart, didn't she?
Good. If I taught you one thing, MAOMAO, it's never speak based on conjecture.
そう言われてもな。何かあるってわけか。
何かあるかもしれません。何もないかもしれません。
どっちだよ。
偶然が2つ重なることはよくあります。3つ重
But
なることもあるでしょ
three.
う。そうした偶然がいくつも重なって、やがて必然になったとき、この長身の彼女に似た人物がいたらどうでしょうか。これで水霊という彼女が浮かび上がったところで関係ない話。
なるほど。お前は見た目によらず賢いな。
見た目通りバカ力なので、もう少し手加減。
Because absolutely Jack just like on this like tiny girl. Oh.
楽しそうだな。
別に楽しくありませんけど。
Is this the guy you went out on the town with that one time?
Yeah.
そうでしょうか。気になることがあったので、私に話を聞きに来ただけのようです。今回の話、ジンシ様にも関係がないとは言い切れない。詳しくお話ししてもよろしいでしょうか。
Smart.
はい。
それで何があると思う？
わかりません。一つの事件を
That's
確
a
実に
little too pointed of a
い
question.
くつかが成功すればよいという具合にも見えます。
そうなると他にも仕掛けてある可能性がある。
Probably.
断言はできませんが、事故か判断のつかない案件ばかりです。まだ偶然が重なっただけの可能性も捨てきれません。
乗り気ではないのか？
乗り気？
No, I only get excited when it's an accident.
単なる美女ですので、仕事を行うだけです。
That's not true.
ならこういうのはどうだ？先日交易商人のところを回った時出ていると聞いてな。
An interesting item.
こういう名だったんだが。
強盗、薬の一種であり牛の胆石。千分うちの一個しかないとされる薬の最高級品。
Whoa.
Wow.
いるか？シャオモ。
Xiaomao.
しました。
Ah, yes.
やる気になったようだな。
いただけるのでしょうか。
仕事次第だ。情報は逐一やろう。
ました。ジンシ様の思うままに。
ということで手配を頼む。
これは先日食中毒を起こした缶はレーブのものだったのか。レーブとは確か教育や外交を司る部署だったはずだが、勉強を真面目にしていれば。
Who knew that that would actually come in handy ever?
ありがとうございます。
いや、何かわからないことが。
これはどんな感触ですか？
これは祭事を司っているんだよ。
Makes sense to me. That's what a rite is.
She may actually be planning to bring someone back from the dead. I doubt she'd be successful, but you know, weird stealing ceremonial stuff and everything, yeah.
確実に最後を盗み出すためのものなら、偶然に見せかけられたこれらの事件が重なり合う。
The Elden
が
Ring.
起こる場所があるはずだ。最後が使われるとすれば、祭事でもそれなりの規模。終始いつ行われるのか、すべて調べた方がいいな。そういえば、ジンシ様もよくみそぎをしている。
Is she gonna start suspecting him?
興味があるなら、ここにいいものがあるぞ。
これは祭事上の絵ですか？
道の端にある早急団って言ってな。
Altar of the Sapphire Sky.
天井に大きな柱をぶら下げているんだ。中央の祭壇の上にはヒレが垂れ下がっていて、毎回柱を下ろして祝いの言葉を足していくんだ。
お詳しいのですね。
昔ながら書庫に来る前はレーブでもっとちゃんとした仕事をしていたのさ。上に余計なこと言ったらこちらに飛ばされてしまってね。最初は強度が心配だったんだが、みたいで安心したよ。
何のことですか？
こんな風に天井から柱をぶら下げるだろう。
See,
それが大きな
Wow, you're an extremely important person to talk to.
yeah,
Somebody's gonna get crushed during the ceremony.
yeah.
確かに恐ろしい。
This is an assassination plot.
もし柱を固定する金具が壊れ、
Do you think that okay, so there's the so you could think, oh, maybe they're trying to assassinate Jinshi when he goes to these ceremonies.
Right.
But I'm assuming because they say that all of like nobility goes to ceremonies, so I would assume that the emperor would also go to ceremonies. Given the whole discussion of like older, younger brother, it doesn't matter, blah blah blah. It could be maybe more likely if they were planning to assassinate the emperor
To put Jinshi
to put
in
Jinshi instead. But also assassinating the emperor is like the craziest and most treasonous and worst thing that you could possibly do within this like so it's just like you would have to be so like you would have to have such like would the reasons of they just want someone else to be in charge when like the current emperor doesn't seem to be like doing anything that crazy, you know what I mean? So
He
it's just,
doesn't, especially when you hear about his
previous
dad.
emperor, yeah. So
like
that-
it seems like he maybe did something, possibly, maybe that's all it's setting up for. Maybe he did something similar to his dad in order to become the emperor. Mm-hmm. With Ado, who was like his best friend turned basically his wife, his first concubine.
Mm-hmm. I don't like this is all setting up for something, but maybe like I'm wondering if this at this point could be a red herring and it could be something else, or like what if it seems like this but really she was doing some kind of, because like yeah it's like either
It's also like, sorry, finish what you're saying.
it's either she wants to do it, like she's serious about raising the dead in her own way, and like she said she was joking, but she was serious, and she's just kind of delusional and like upset that probably her mom is dead, and she's trying to conduct a ceremony on her own, and that's why she like stole these ceremonial things, or they're trying to assassinate someone, or they're just trying to break in there and like be in there, like, you know what I mean? Like this is a
there's some kind of setup with this. There's some kind of like, first of all, the fact that this guy shows up and without even being asked goes
It's
on
like-
a crazy diatribe
Yeah.
about how unsafe this building is, about how he brought it up to his superiors, got fired, and then ended up in this library where MAOMAO is to tell her at the
Yeah.
first opportunity about why he got fired based on no prompting is kind of funny as a plot thread, but I'll go with it. Fuck it. So Lakan's at the heart of this.
Mm-hmm.
Why the fuck would he want to say assassinate the emperor or assassinate Jinshi?
Mm-hmm.
I would think, I don't know, because we don't know enough about him to know exactly what he wants, but like say he knows that Jinshi has taken a liking to MAOMAO.
Mm-hmm.
You know, maybe he would want MAOMAO and Jinshi to be together, and then MAOMAO would be like the empress,
yeah.
right? And he's like, then that would be a reason to kill the emperor in order to give Jinshi and MAOMAO their opportunity to rule.
But like,
But that
even
I
still,
just
like,
that's such
yeah.
a stretch that I don't actually believe that. Like,
That just feels so.
and then the guy who's in charge of the ceremony gets his favorite seaweed poisoned by his brother, who was influenced clearly by Lakan to do that. Mm-hmm. Right?
Yeah,
So this is all connecting back to him.
it's just.
But
what?
why would he
Yeah.
do any of this? Like, what is he looking to get out of this?
Mm-hmm.
And it's all coming to, they're having a ceremony where there's really bad structural integrity, and it's been a series of accidents that MAOMAO has basically ruled as oversights.
Yeah.
As like, you know, people don't understand what they're doing. That's like in everything that's happened so far, and it turns out some of those things are connected to this. And they're not all accidents. Well, that's the perfect, exactly what would happen if, you know, especially if there's record of people saying that this is not a structurally sound building,
Yeah.
and then somebody important gets crushed, there'd be no one to blame but themselves. Maybe they'd blame, you know, a couple people that get their heads chopped off because they're treasonous and they didn't do their job properly, even though, whatever, you know.
Yeah. But yeah,
It's this exact same type of thing that has already been done seemingly by Lock-On, of like, oh, it's I guess it's an accident.
Or even it's just like you put the right things in place for the right accident to happen.
Yeah, exactly.
Not because it's like with the pipe thing, it's like giving him the pipe doesn't necessarily mean that he is going to go in to that warehouse right away and smoke the pipe. There's a probability of, there's a decently high probability of it, but you don't know that for a fact, so it's a bit of a gamble. And same with these other things, is like you don't know. It's showing how someone with MAOMAO's level of expertise can manipulate people so that it is still a genuine accident on the part of the people like that are taking part, like, and that's why she's saying like, oh, because these things are still somewhat accidents, in a way they are still accidents, there could be many more of these plans that never resulted in something because it just didn't go the exact way that they wanted, you know? It's just taking advantage of people's ignorance to things. Because if the guard had known that flour would explode if he went and smoked inside this warehouse, he obviously wouldn't have done it. But they took advantage of the fact that they knew that would happen and he didn't, you know?
I wonder, like, what the fuck. So he would always go to the Verdigris house and play, is it Go, with MAOMAO's mom? And so he's all, like, about that kind of thing, and he still goes and does it. And so it's, like, I don't know. And he only spends time with, like, really smart prostitutes. Maybe he, like, wanted to create a really smart child, like, the next generation.
Or maybe this whole setup is
a way for MAOMAO to, like, put everything together
and then have to confront
him.
Or have to confront him, or have to, if she thinks that he is plotting to assassinate Jinshi, someone that she cares about, will she confront him, or is he setting up similar to that fucking episode where the dad made this like elaborate box for his children to fit? Is this entire scheme?
It's a lesson for MAOMAO.
Yeah.
That's what I think it is too. That's kind of what I was trying to say.
I feel like this guy is not planning to actually assassinate someone.
He essentially would be sacrificing himself so that MAOMAO could grow. Despite everything, as a final, like, I'm sorry for fucking up your life, basically. Perhaps. And then, yeah, he dies, or he gets killed, he gets executed for all this, but she, comes out way stronger and smarter and is basically inherits his level of intellect and planning and stuff like that. I don't know.
I guess we're not even at the end of the episode, I guess we'll see what they kind of figure out. I'm just like, yeah, that's fucking terrible.
Yeah, what tool?
But they'd make a new one out of, like, bad metal or something that wasn't strong enough, maybe.
Oh, wow. That was, like, a really critical episode, wasn't it? Holy fuck.
Right now.
Jinshi.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
It's of, like, whatever thing was made out of, like, that new metal that melts under, like, 0 heat.
いくつも仕掛けることでどれかが重なり合う。そしてようやくここまで結びついた。あくまで予想だ。予想に過ぎない。その予想が的中していたとしたら。
Oh my god.
Whoa.
And this is like so bad too, to be breaking in there. Like if she's wrong, this could be.
Say that you're the.
通してください。ダメだ。緊急事態です。お前のような下女が大事に口を出す気か。
You're gonna have to put your life on the line. You're gonna have to say something inflammatory so that they believe you.
怒った後では遅い。取り返しのつかないことはいつもそうだ。件があります。催事を取りやめてください。
お前が決めることじゃない。言いたいことがあるなら。投書箱に
The suggestion box?
それでは間に合いません。
ダメだ。
Come with me.
血管が見つかりました。誰かが工作した可能性があります。ここで私を中に入れなければ後悔することになりますよ。私が危険を解いているのに拒んだのであれば。
You have to gotta put your life on the line. You can't sit on the sideline.
もしかしてそういうことですか。なるほど。あなたは私
If, yeah. Then it's all on you.
つまり工作した輩とつながっているとか。
Oh my god.
Is he actually in league with the person that tampered with it?
I hope some of these other guys around here.
Oh my god!
Are they fighting that guy?
こんな小娘にあんな物言いをされたら腹が立つだろう。そう仕向けたのだから仕方ない。騒いでもダメか。こんな小さな騒ぎ、催事は止まらない。
Holy shit!
まだ気を失うわけにはいかない。
She just tanked a hit from that guy? Like,
Oh my god.
fucking crazy.
中にやんごとな君の方がいらっしゃるの。何か起きたら飛ぶのは他の首ではありませんか。催事を中断しろとは言いません。私を見逃してください。偶然ネズミが入ったとで。それなら飛ぶのは私の首だけで済むでしょう。
お前のような小娘の言葉を信じろと。では私の
This motherfucker.
For this moment.
あなた様を。それにしても娘を殴るとはどういうことだろうね。
Musume.
直しているじゃないか。
Oh no.
ともかく言う通りにしてやるってのはどうだい？
See, no.
Did he do all of this just so that he could get close to her for like a minute?
Yeah, it's like it makes you not want to do whatever this guy
Exactly.
fucking says.
You've fallen directly into his plans. This was part of his plans.
Yeah. Or did he just want to expose Jinshi to her so now she's gonna know who he is and it's gonna and then
Maybe.
she'll.
Either way, he planned her to figure it out clearly.
Yeah. Oh my god.
The heat from the candles, maybe just enough to spark.
Yeah. The heat from this boiling fucking water. Oh my god. Throws him straight into the pot of boil. Oh my god.
Is it gonna end right here?
Her feet.
Holy fuck. He would have been done for. Her foot? Oh, she's
just
cut.
cut.
Okay.
おい。なんでこんな状況になっている？
ジンシさん、こういただけます。
どころじゃないだろう。どうしたんだ？
Oh,
その顔は。
please don't kill that guy. He's just doing his job.
Just like, am I dying?
そんな顔しているのだろう。
I wonder if he was being named like the prince formerly or the first in line.
I think he's just doing a ceremony.
しっかりしろ。目を覚ませ。おい、
Is she fucking dying?
She's just passing out. She just got beat, her head bashed in.
It's gonna end right here.
This fucking guy out here. And he's gonna see that.
Oh, did he not plan for her to actually save him? He had like, his eye was like wide. What the fuck does he want?
Or did he just not expect him to?
Maybe he didn't know it was actually him? Or, no, that doesn't make any sense. There's so much going on. Holy shit. They're all like bowing to Jinshi, so they all know.
She really needs that stitched up.
Oh my god.
Okay,
I mean,
now,
what is there to say?
What did fucking bro want?
I don't understand. I'm not it's not like I don't understand like when MAOMAO was talking about resurrecting the dead. I am at a loss for, because I guess he just thought that she was too late. He was like rubbing it in her face that Jinshi was gonna die, and then Jinshi walks out holding her.
She was gonna die? She was gonna get squished instead?
Maybe.
Or did he just not expect that Jinshi... Did he expect that if Jinshi got revealed, he would like cast her away or try and get rid of her for knowing the secret? And he was just surprised that he cared about her and was like carrying her out of there?
I don't see how he would be surprised by that, considering that he knew that Jinshi was taking an interest in her.
Yeah. I don't... Because like, he wasn't even phased when she literally almost got killed. Like, that guy could have killed her by hitting her like that, and you know, like... I
think that he just figured you already lost. You already, like, but I thought that he would have expected her to be, like, that's why he wasn't phased, was that he was like, oh, you're here, just as I planned. Mm-hmm. Now you'll go in and save, and then whatever happens next will be a part of my plan. But this doesn't look like this is a part of his plan. And normally things probably go to his plan, and he's been planning this for like years. It's most likely, with all the things that have been set up, at least for the last like couple years that MAOMAO's been here, a year or two. Yeah.
Yeah, this is it was a very elaborate scheme. I guess I'm just curious why he was so shocked at this being the resolution, you know?
He probably expected Jinshi to fucking die. He didn't expect her to go in and save his life, most likely. I feel like that's the easiest possible answer.
Yeah.
But what's this ceremony? I feel like you might know, obviously, if you're Chinese, or if you're...
I think they all just do ceremony, like the nobility and the royalty just conduct these ceremonies.
For no reason?
Well, I'm sure... I don't know.
Ceremonies
their
always have a
their,
reason.
Like, yeah, but it seems like he does them all the time. Like it's like every couple of weeks he has this big bath and this big incense, and then he goes off for a while.
But there's never not a reason for a ceremony. It's like, just because they do it often doesn't mean there's no reason for it. So what is it? Ceremonial tools. I don't even know what a ceremonial tool is. What, like a fucking menorah? What, like a dreidel? Like, what do they mean by ceremonial tools? Yeah. These candlesticks?
The pulleys or something?
Oh yeah, no, right, no, it was these things. These things that the fucking guy was, yeah.
Yeah, and then
they were designing, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Does he, like, because there's all those guys in there, does he, like, is it just he's conducting a ceremony silent? Because, like, I don't know anything about this. Or is he, like in, like, a priest kind of way? Like, does he, like, read this out to people? You know? Like, yeah. Or does he put something in this pot?
I don't know. It's maybe, like, I don't even know if the concept I guess this would this be Buddhism? I actually don't even know. or is it Taoism? I honestly don't know what I don't know enough about his Chinese history, but if the concept of holy water like exists in that kind of culture, because that's like a very Western thing that like a priest blesses it and then it's whatever. But yeah, I don't know what like a boiling vat of fucking liquid would represent here, and why you need to be between underneath this crazy iron beam. like why is this setup necessary? You could have just made a house.
I feel like it's just like a very elaborate architectural thing of like, this, we designed this like crazy elaborate stone pillar, and we're like, it's like hanging up there, and it's very, and they have these I can see it from like a design aspect of like whoever's this like very like, we have constructed this thing that is able to hang up there and be like this huge statement piece kind of thing. I feel so bad for MAOMAO. She just got so beat up and just looked so like destroyed and sad.
Well, it's the one thing that's confused me since we've first started thinking that Jinshi was the prince, and that still kind of confuses me, is that like, how can he wear this garb, everybody looks up to him like he's royalty, and then turn around and he's like MAOMAO put him in a crazy disguise, nobody recognized him, but all he's doing is changing his hair and his clothes, and then everybody, like, people are like, oh, Jinshi.
I think it must
Prince
be
Jinshi versus or King's brother, or Emperor's brother Jinshi versus eunuch guy who's hanging out in the fucking lower palace.
What I have to think is that,
or is MAOMAO just dumb and everybody knows who he is?
I think the thing is, I think that none of, at least the women and servants within the rear palace know, because that's his like job, is to go in there and be this eunuch guy.
Yeah.
But I get the feeling that like anyone who like works in like the main palace, like not the rear palace, would know. Anyone who's like these guards, any of these like religious people, I don't know if there are other eunuchs or like any like guards kind of like, I think that it's like a thing that's a secret, but it's not the most like secret,
Right.
Because he made an appearance at the garden party before she got there, before any of the concubines got there. The prince, the king's brother, or the emperor's brother, had made an appearance and then left, and then he went back and changed and was in his disguise, but he still had the pin in from when he made his appearance and then left. So I think what I have to assume is that it is a secret from like a select group of people, mostly the people in the rear palace and like perhaps some of the people where he is. But everyone else who knows about it is like trusted enough or like knows the severity of like revealing something like that. And is not gonna say anything,
Yeah.
That's what I have to assume, or because it
also doesn't make any sense.
It also doesn't make any sense. So
Yeah.
That's what makes sense to me at this point.
I don't know. We'll find out, because it's always been something that like I don't know how it can work, because he's not in a crazy disguise. He's just wearing different clothes and does his hair slightly differently, and everyone's like, oh, unless it is literally just it all flew over MAOMAO's head just because she wasn't paying attention.
I think that most of the people in the rear palace would have to not know about it. At least most of them, because, or else it wouldn't be like a test of like, oh, this guy who's so, good, and he.
Well, it still would be. If everybody knew it was the Emperor's brother, it still would be. He's just allowed to go there. I think it might literally just be that MAOMAO is too dumb to realize who he is.
But why would he disguise himself and say that he was a eunuch if everyone knew,
MAOMAO only thinks that he's a eunuch. I don't think anyone but MAOMAO has referenced him being a eunuch.
Really?
MAOMAO constantly references it. I don't think anyone else has said that. Because it's like, only eunuchs are allowed in, but the exception would be a royal, obviously, if they were given permission by the emperor. So he doesn't have to be a eunuch to go in there. Nobody calls him a different name. We've never been like, he's in a different company and somebody says, oh, this person, a different name. Everybody calls him Jinshi-sama. So
Yeah.
I think genuinely the only thing that I can understand is that
She's just dumb.
I mean, other than the only time that it is the conversation with Lock-On, as far as I know, where Lock-On was like intimating that he's royal, but then he's just like, but I'm not royal, so like I'm not a noble person, so why would he be thinking?
Well,
this
and
and
that's
that?
the other thing, because then when Lock-On, like in the last conversation, he's like, oh, so he knows, he's guessed it correctly that I am a, because like when he was saying about like you could make it into ceremonial tools or whatever, and then he's like, oh, what need would I have of that, because I'm not nobility, like you know, so it seemed
Maybe it was a translation thing, and it's like because he's not the emperor. I don't know. I guess there's no point in trying to figure it out. But I wanted to go back and watch this. Because I wanted to come back and watch this because maybe the fucking emperor is angling to get Jinshi assassinated, and he contacted Lock-On to do it. And that's why Lock-On's upset, is because he's like, he's worried that he'll be on the chopping block because he wasn't successful in assassinating Jinshi, who is like his main competition, obviously. So I wanted to come back to this because if you see, look at the thing on his chest. So he's got like a phoenix. He's got like a dragon and a phoenix, like what Jinshi was wearing.
食えないお方だ。皮肉なものだ。努力しようとも、地も部も、凡人に毛が生えた程度のもの。なのに外見だけは誰よりも秀でたものがついてきた。本当に自分が欲しいものはなかなか手に入らない。今はもう割り切っている。甘い眼差し、甘い声。他人より秀でたものを最大限利用してやる。分かっている。所詮帝の手の上ではなく子供に過ぎない。御心のままに高級管理でも何だってやってやる。それが自分の道を選ぶ唯一の方法だ。
I guess that doesn't tell us very much. I thought it would give us some kind of a clue. But I think we might hear more about that kind of conversation or what the Emperor is talking to him about there.
I feel like the next episode will be a little bit more illuminating
I think so too.
In terms of like the whole like what is his deal and who knows and who doesn't know and this and that.
Yeah, because like without information like that, we don't know how Lock-On would perceive this whole situation. You know, like
because if Lock-On didn't know and then was like almost like not really like blackmailing,
there's no way he could not know.
But I mean, like,
No
if he was not supposed to know, and then that's why he was dropping all of these hints, because like if he was allowed to know, then he could have just said it. But instead, he's like, oh, these specific thing that you would have no use for unless you were royalty, and like this specific thing that you know what I mean? Like he's like dropping hints that he knows. So it's like if he wasn't supposed to know. And he's like a higher ranked military guy who is immediately respected when he speaks out amongst all of these guards and stuff. That, you know what I mean? Like, yeah. It's interesting. And I'm interested in what Jinshi's gonna do, because he's like walking out of here, but I'm assuming that we're still kind of within this, like, the ceremonial zone or whatever. But is he just gonna blow his cover and just like walk straight out? Because
that depends if there is cover. I don't know if there is any cover or if it's just been like kind of vague conversations about something that everybody but MAOMAO has figured out, and she's just actually dumb. Like, we'll see, because I can't square the fact that he's walking around in public as the same person but with a different haircut and slightly different clothes. Still fine clothes, just not with a picture on his chest. I guess it's like the only thing that I could think of is you chalk it up to a novel. The fact that it's a novel and like people are described kind of vaguely. And
it was described that the prince or like the emperor's brother is extremely elusive and like no one ever pretty much sees it. Oh, he's never at these events. He's like I'm pretty sure they said that before. The concubines when they were talking about him, like, oh.
But then he was going to make an appearance.
He made one before they got there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So then anyone who has seen Jinshi would know who he fucking is my point. Unless there's this mental gymnastics of it being a novel and people don't have faces in a novel, they're just words. So, like, similar to how, you know, when we watch Jinshi interact with Ado, and it's like, oh, they're probably related given the context clues of this situation. You know, but in a book, it's not as clear. If that's what we're trying to, if that's the gymnastics that we need to play in order to justify the fact that because that whether or not everybody knows, or it's a mystery or whatever, or it's just MAOMAO, that would change how we think about Lock-on's perspective on this whole thing. You know, I don't know. We need to find out. We need to watch more to find out.
Yeah,
Leave a like, subscribe, see you next time.
I'm Lindsay.
Bye bye.